Yeah, it's in the house.
What?
All right. So here in the kitchen seems to be set up as it should. We have sink and cooktop with a double oven. They all came on. The only thing is the screen's a little hard to read. So you kind of have to, it's hard to see the numbers. So it's the only thing I really know. It does work. Just kind of have to know what you pushed. So there's that. And then you have your refrigerator. The doors are backwards in my mind because it's backwards to the flow of traffic. So if you want to get food out, you have to go around the door and then move them around. So I do note that. Oh yeah, ventilation. So we like to see ventilation in the kitchen to vent out smoke or grease and those kind of things. So it has an old style ceiling fan, which that was common in this era of house, and it does work. Switch goes right there. We had that going earlier. So there's that. And we want to talk about the electrical panel. So this is technically a sub panel to the main panel, which is in the room right over there. And this is a newer panel, looks really good. I do take the cover off, look at the wiring. Only thing I did note is the siding, or actually the wall board, comes up over the edge of this, so it's really kind of hard to get out. And when you're working with high voltage, you don't want any obstacles. So I would trim the wall board so this can come off easier. Okay, you guys have any questions about kitchen?
What about that window?
I think it was in the bathroom. I was just looking because they put in an insert.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was bathroom window.
Okay.
Oh. Let's go look. The exterior
like
window.
space.
Oh, yeah. You're right. So it's probably right in here, but they have the, so that's probably where the exterior covered up window is.
Darn.
Mm-hmm. We can talk about bathroom.
I never seen the outlets way up there.
Yes, so that's where your GFCI is. I noted that in the report. That's really the only outlet in here. Just making sure, looking down the mirror. So you could have an electrician bring a wire down and put another one lower.
First thing to be told when you're drying your hair.
Did the ceiling get redone?
Yeah,
It
so
looks like it was cut on the outline.
yeah, so that's interesting. It actually looks to me like there was something hanging there, and there's caulk lines. So this damage, I just called it out as damage. So there was something there, maybe even a cabinet that was up against there, because that's kind of the shape of a upper cabinet. And so, and then the trim around the outside left a little mark too, all the way around. So I just called it ceiling damage. If you painted it with a good paint, you might be able to cover that up. Some of that is going to be kind of hard that's tore. It's basically like a cardboard type ceiling panel, very common in the 60s basically.
Would you think that that type of ceiling tile has asbestos in it?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I can't guarantee that.
One concern Rodney had was of asbestos,
Mm-hmm.
and I told him most homes are going to have some in it at some point, whether it's buried or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's different things. So I usually, if we see older like vinyl flooring, which we don't, but there could be covered up old vinyl flooring under some of the parts of it. So that's where I normally see it, or sometimes old ducting,
Okay.
or even old plumbing that's been wrapped in an insulation that sometimes has asbestos. And then popcorn ceilings. But this house is actually before popcorn ceilings. Popcorn ceilings were more like in the 70s. But yeah, these ceiling tiles, it's possible they had asbestos. Now the thing with asbestos, since you bring it up, is if you don't mess with it, it doesn't hurt you. Now, but if you start pulling these down, and that puts in microscopic stuff into the air that we can't see even, and that's really bad for your lungs. It can turn to cancer. So, so if you don't mess with it, even if you just paint it, doesn't hurt you. But if anyone ever cuts it or starts pulling it down, that's where you have to be really, really, really careful. Unless you get it tested and find out there's no asbestos.
Well, maybe that should be a good possibility.
Yeah, I mean, tested's not a bad idea. There's local companies that you can take in samples. Local meaning,
But then we'd be messing with it.
Well, with that, I think you just want to be really careful, mask up, and then carefully cut a piece out. Yeah. Yep. Good thinking, though. Good thinking.
So usually people just cover it up.
Yeah, so
But eventually it becomes,
If you do remove it from the home, they come out with these like big
Hazmats
tents and
and-
hazmats, and it's
yeah, if you do it
very
officially
costly.
with a remediation company, they do make a big deal about it because it is really
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Um,
that
yeah.
would be a good thing to have done.
Yep. Yeah, so that's you kind of have to weigh that. So even with popcorn ceilings, if you don't mess with them, you can just paint over them. You can just paint over, and that kind of encapsulates it even more, makes it safer. So you kind of have to weigh that. But the safest thing to do is to take a sample and get it tested. Yeah. Let's look at this room. We got a toilet room, and the toilet works fine and nice and tight to the floor. And there, let's talk about electricity. There is an outlet here and a switch over there for the light. Just kind of unique situation where they're at.
It looks to me like this used to be the washer and dryer room.
Yeah,
Maybe.
so it does, because here's where the washer would go. So you have your water, hot and cold, and then your drain line.
Oh,
So
you
I'm
guys
not
put it
sure.
back in if you want to, I suppose.
Yeah, so it looks like they repurposed this room for something. You can see there used to be something there where the new flooring went up to that. And then, of course, that's old flooring. Now, is that asbestos flooring? It kind of looks newer than that to me. This is more like the 70s, which there wasn't a lot of asbestos in the 70s. That's definitely 70s orange and brown. I remember it.
Replaced.
Yeah, so and if you don't cover it up, then yeah, you want to fix the floor in here.
Is it all? This looks like vinyl too, but newer.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
It's vinyl.
Just in
It's
this-
like tile now, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is just a vinyl floor in this room. It's the only room like that. So you could re-vinyl the whole thing, which is the least expensive flooring. It's easy to do. And there's a few, I noted a few things, damage. And there was something else there's a picture of. All right, let's talk about...
Or you could epoxy it. Oh my gosh, you would epoxy.
Sounds fun. All right, let's talk about the sink. So both the sink and the bathroom sink have complete flex pipes in here. That's not a good idea. That should be changed out to actual P-traps, which is pretty easy to fix. But the home improvement stores sell these because it's so easy for homeowners to install them, but it's really not a good idea. Okay. And one last thing about electrical, maybe not the last thing, but this is a Zinsco panel, which we just recommend they get replaced because they're not considered safe any longer. It's just the style of panel, they just weren't all that great. It's Zinsco.
Why is there two panels?
That's a good question. Why is there two panels? I don't know. Why didn't they just put one, when they put the newer one in the kitchen, why didn't they just put all of it into
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, but it's still active, and these
yeah.
items are definitely on different.
It looks like it, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, the nice thing is there is a panel, so if he wanted to have all this rerouted to that,
It's
it would probably be
possible.
less expensive than.
Possible. That one might not be big enough for everything, so it might. But maybe you could consolidate it all into one. I'm just not sure why they didn't do it when they did that.
Right.
There might be a reason that we don't know. Okay. Look at the bedrooms. There's not a lot to talk about in bedrooms. This carpet seems to be in pretty good shape. A little bit of paint right there. But all the windows seem to work as they should. The closet doors are missing, which is pretty common these days. There is one window that's fogged up, has a failed seal. Let me find that. Yeah, it's this one here. So this side, we call that a failed seal. That fogginess is on the inside of the two panes. So that won't go away. You can't wash it. So in order to fix that, you have to change out this window unit.
Okay.
You don't have to change out the whole window, but you can just change out one side. Okay. All right. Heaters. We need to talk about heat. So we do have a heater in this utility room, and this one does work. It came on when I turned it on.
Is that gas?
Nope, just electric heater, and it's It's kind of a unique one.
It almost looks like the propane.
Yeah, it does. But it's like, I think it has ceramic and electric cords in there. It seemed to work good. It came on nice and hot real fast. In here we have a baseboard heater and the knob's missing, and I couldn't get it to turn without a knob, so I didn't get this one to work. And it's completely loose from the wall, which is not a great situation. So it's possible that it does work and just needs to be reattached and have a knob. So that's written up. There's a electrical cover missing there. And so let's look at all the heat in different rooms. So we have this baseboard heater does work,
It's a whole nother switch for the light in the closet.
and this baseboard heater does work. And this cadet heater there's no heater in that box, so I'm not sure what happened. So this is kind of interesting. So there's a cadet heater box there, but there's actually no heater in that box, which is kind of interesting. So I messed with the knob and it was taped in place. I'm like, that's weird. Why? And like playing with it, and I pulled it out, looked in there. Oh, there's no heater at all.
So it just needs the element in there, or what?
Yeah, so it's actually the whole heater. It's just a heater that fits in that box. They're pretty inexpensive and pretty easy to fix. So just as long as the power and everything's correct, I can't test that. Now you do have a ductless heat pump, which are really great. Excellent way to heat and cool a house. Now, of course, this doesn't do the back bedrooms very well, but this whole area, it'll heat and cool very nicely. It's set at 70 degrees. That's what it's been the whole time we've been here, and it's like a 95-degree day, I think. Now, the thing about these, though, they do have a filter in here that needs to be cleaned. You just open up that door, and in Daikin, this brand actually recommends to get cleaned every 2 weeks, which is kind of crazy. But the thing happens is you can actually get mold built up in there, and then it just spreads mold throughout your house. So you do want to clean it when you move in, and then clean it, pick a schedule.
Yeah.
You could do every 2 weeks like Daikin recommends, or you could do once a month, that kind of thing. They're usually just a rinse in the sink type of thing, dry them out, and put them back. Okay. All right, can we think of any other questions?
She's got the best ones.
Okay, so we didn't talk about the attic actually. So we have this pull down attic, which you guys got to look up in there.
Yeah, we have to open and close it well, though.
Yeah, so it is a little, you have to have a step ladder to close it and do that lock there. The pull down ladder is actually really cool. I've never seen one like this. It works better than most. I think it's kind of neat. It has a railing and everything. So when you go up in here, there is some storage area. It's a bit of a mess. So it could be cleaned up for storage. It is, of course, warm up there. Insulation in the ceiling is okay. It really could add more, just the air of the house. They didn't use a lot of insulation, so if you wanted more efficiency in your ceiling, you could have more insulation added. And then the underside of the roof, we call it the roof sheathing, roof plywood. There is some evidence of discoloration and mold on the lower sections. So if you look at the underside of the roof over there, and then also over here, there's just a little bit on this side, but on this side there's a section where it's pretty black, which sometimes is the tannins in the wood that have changed color, but also there's usually some mold in that as well. So you have to decide what to do about that. It doesn't necessarily affect the health of the people living in the house, but it doesn't go away. And so you could have that remediated, which is not cheap. It's probably gonna be a couple $1,000s, maybe more.
Do you think it's from water leaking through or just moisture in the attic?
So from what it looks like, it'd be most likely from the roof getting saturated because of the lower sections. To me, the roof seems to be in better condition than that. So it could have been an old roof, could be really old damage from years and years ago. Now, it is an older 3-tab roof, even though it looks to be in good condition. It could be evaluated by a roofer sooner than later, than let them make that final decision. But as far as for 3-tab roofs, it does look good to me.
Okay.
No curling and no thin, so quite a bit of gravel left on the asphalt shingles. Any other questions?
Do you have an idea on the life? What's left of the roof?
Like I said, it looks really good. So I would think, 5+ years, but 3 tabs can actually be a little bit deceiving. The newer roofs are actually seem to be thinner, and you can tell really quick that, oh, it's
Right.
time to be replaced. Whereas my last house had 3 tab roof, and it kept looking good. Maybe they just lasted longer too. So, yeah. So
How much do you think the cost would be to fix the heater in that bedroom?
the one,
The one that's hanging off the wall?
yeah. So if it just needs a knob, then it's just putting a knob on and reattaching it, which is really easy.
Oh, okay.
Now, we could fiddle. I could get some pliers and see if I can get it to turn on, and that would mean it's just super easy. Just put a knob on it and reattach it to the wall. So I'll do that before I leave. See if I can get it to turn on.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything?
Not that I can do.
She's been working too much. I'm ready for bed.
Yes.
I took a nap.
Nice. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up the video, and let me know if you have any other questions.